audio. Let's try this again. Okay. Trying this again because I wasn't rolling the first time. 1, 2, 3. Hey everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Small Talk Tuesday. I am your host, Jennifer Razon, and as I'm kind of glancing out my window here, it is cloudy again, which means more rain is coming. Yeah, we all know how I feel about the rain. I'm recording this, let's see, it's Friday, March 1st, and tomorrow is Long Run Saturday, and luckily it is the final long run of this training block. And then we go into full-on taper mode. I've been sort of tapering this last week, but these final 2 weeks before our race day is going to be pretty calming, I guess you could say. As anyone who's trained for any kind of marathon will tell you that taper weeks are a time to let the body recover, but also it's also not to go technically full speed in our final runs. I recall seeing, I don't know if it was a TikTok or a IG reel that, it's hard for runners to go on easy pace when everybody else is kind of passing you by. So it feels like that. Definitely feels like that. Let me know if you are training for the marathon. Do you feel that same thing? It's kind of bringing it down a couple notches, just a bit. It is, yeah. I don't know. We'll see how I cope with it, but the rain is supposed to come back, supposedly. So that's going to be fun. I'm hoping it's not going to be too strong. I don't know. This is just wishful thinking on my part. So we'll see. Looking forward to it. On to what this week's episode is about. Cross training. I actually got this comment from the last Small Talk Tuesday. It is from a YouTube viewer. I am Will JR. Thank you for the comment. In the middle of the video, would a suggestion be okay? Episode on cross training. Definitely a good suggestion to have, because I think personally cross training is important. As I've gotten older, I feel like it's something that should be implemented here and there. Because if you're doing one thing over and over again, in this case, running, there is that chance of injury or plateau. And to prevent that, we got to mix it up every once in a while. And for me, that cross training consists of strength training quite a bit, because a lot of emphasis when we train for marathons is on our legs. So we're using a lot of our leg muscles, and on occasion our core muscles. I have a horrible core that I'm trying to build up. That's something that I've been wanting to kind of get a little better at over these last few years. Still working on it. It's a work in progress. But it is good to do that to prevent any sort of major injury. At least that's from my perspective. I do want to add just a full disclosure. I'm not a professional or certified, fitness trainer or medical person. I am just your average runner. And, what I say here is completely from personal experience. Currently, my schedule, or training schedule as it is I have 4 training runs per week. And then 2 cross training days, and then a rest day. Usually Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays are my run days, with my long run being on Saturday. I prefer it on the weekend. And my cross training days are on Tuesdays and Fridays, just to sort of break up those run days. I believe that rest days are important. It gives the body the proper time to really heal, because we're putting so much pressure on it throughout the week that, we just need that time to really just sit down and calm down and kind of bring it down a few notches, so to speak. And trust me, your body will thank you for it in the long run, because it does help prevent injury, but also heal any injuries that we may sustain or get in the process of doing whatever it is that we are doing. On occasion, I will try to do a third day of cross training, if only my schedule will allow it, or if I'm feel like, okay, I could probably do something more, but that's kind of a rare thing. So normally I like to stick to 2 days per week and just cap it off that. Currently on my cross training days, I'm usually the home workout kind of person. I don't have a gym membership. I used to many, many years ago, when I sort of first gotten into the whole fitness genre of things, but I rarely used it, so to speak. So I'm like, I don't really need it. Currently, I don't have one. Still don't feel the need for one. But if you have one, cool. Use it wisely, or use it as much as you can. Take advantage of all those, equipment and the classes that they have. So, will I get one in the future? Maybe, who knows? Depending, what the circumstances are. But currently, as how it is at the moment, I'm currently fine without one. Which also to add, because I tend to get social anxiety, so it's one of those things I have to literally mentally and physically prepare myself to be around people, because I'd be like, oh my god, is that person judging me? I'm like, why are they looking at me? I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Am I, like, my form is horrible? Ugh. It's like all these thoughts jumbling in my head. So, and that pretty much goes the same for any social event or social gathering I have to do. So it's not just the gym, don't worry. So which is why the home workouts are suited for what my needs are. So definitely go with how you feel and what you think would be, perfect for you. So, and currently for my cross training days, I usually will do some sort of high intensity workouts, mixed with some sort of strength training, with or without weights, depending. And, definitely walking each day. I love going for walks when I can, so that's something that I like to do. I usually do the walking in the afternoon. My actual cross-training workouts usually are in the morning. I usually like to work out in the mornings. Some people like to do it in the evenings. Definitely go with your own flow. Same thing with my running. I usually like to go run in the mornings. General rule of thumb from what I've learned is usually try to train during the same time as the race itself, or as close to it. So some people like to go super early in the morning before their work or after work. So go with the flow, right? Training for a marathon for months on end, it gives you a perspective of determination, perseverance, going for that goal. And one of the things I wanted to make this marathon about is dedicating it to those who aren't able to run. And for that, I chose City of Hope as the organization I wanted to run for. And City of Hope is an amazing hospital located here in Southern California, but they also have, connections within the United States. And their dedication in researching for the advancements of treatments for cancer and diabetes has been top-notch for so many years. And a lot of the treatments that we see today were actually founded at City of Hope. In the last few years, I've been able to make more personal connections there with staff members and especially a lot of the patients, hearing their stories of determination and survival, and how they've been able to maneuver through this difficult aspects in their life has been really inspiring. And so for them, I am doing this. I am making sure that, their struggles, their stories are not going in vain. And that as someone who is an outsider in that periphery, I am doing what I can to help them. And with that, fundraising is one of the best ways I can do it. If you would like to help out as well, you can go to my fundraising page at ourhope.cityofhope.org/5footrunning2024. Again, that's ourhope.cityofhope.org/5footrunning2024. Your contribution is certainly making an impact here, and seeing the results of that, and I've seen it firsthand, is truly amazing. And it's just going to keep getting better and better and better. And for the patients there, it is keeping that hope alive. We are so close to reaching that fundraising goal, and these next 2 weeks are crucial to reaching that. So I hope with your help, we can do that. Again, if you want to consider donating and, of course, sharing this, do go to my fundraising page at ourhope.cityofhope.org/5footrunning2024. And how I get my workouts is pretty much from YouTube videos. YouTube is your friend, as they say. The current one I'm usually using is from an account called Grow with Joe. She has some pretty cool workouts out there that consist of a mix of cardio and HIIT workouts, a few with some dumbbells here and there. I usually use that first thing as the first half of my workout. Usually my workouts tend to last between 45 to 60 minutes, depending. And then there's that. It's like a partial warm up for me. And then the back half of that workout will be using some weights. I have a dedicated 2-pound weights, and then a dedicated 5-pound weights, and I have one of the adjustable ones, the adjustable weights that you can get from like Target or Amazon. I think that one is about 5 to 25 pounds. I haven't used all of the 25 pounds itself, but usually between 10 to 15, depending on my mood for that day. So it does help. A lot of my cross training consists of core and upper body exercises, with a little bit of the full body, which includes the legs, exercises as well. I don't want to leave those out. So I just want to, help build the quads, the glutes and whatnot, since they carry a lot of our body weight here and there. So I'm mixing those in. So that's twice a week. And it's worked out pretty well for me these last few months. I've actually been doing it quite a bit even before that, but more so during this training period. Now, you don't have to necessarily do the same things that I do. I mean, cross-training, it doesn't have to be really that complicated as well. Just anything that isn't what your main, your main sport. Kind of like, Pilates or cycling or hiking even, or walking. Those are good cross-training sports. Going to the gym and lifting weights, that's a good cross-training day. It's really a variety of things, if you think about it. I think from how I've been doing it, it's considered functional strength training, because it isn't purely just lifting weights, like the traditional way, because you have like different body weight exercises combined with certain movements of cardio. So it's definitely helped. So I don't know, give it a try if you want. It is fun. A lot of the YouTube videos has some pretty cool music with it, so go with it. So really, the sky's the limit when it comes to cross training. Now, do you need like special equipment to do any kind of cross training? Not really. If you're doing like home workouts, body weight exercises does help. I used to do that before I got my first like set of weights. I used to do body weight exercises and it helped quite a bit. So it's not necessary. Maybe over time you can, build up to that. So it's something that, it took me a while just to kind of like, okay, I need something a little more. So I'm going to, invest in some dumbbells. So definitely take your time and making sure that you're okay with, lifting certain things or certain movements. So again, it's just going with the flow. Just going with the flow. And for my weight exercises, when I'm actually using the dumbbells, again, that is through YouTube videos. Or on occasion, there's a routine I've been kind of doing on and off for, several years now. So it's kind of like, forgive me because I'm not going to remember all the names of these exercises. Kind of like working on your biceps, like the curls, kind of like the rows with the back, working on the back there, the arm raises where you're lifting the dumbbell over your head into your back of your head. Core exercises as well, like crunches or like the Russian twists where you're like twisting side to side but holding the weight or without a weight. What else? Squats and, lunges are great for your glutes and your legs. I do those quite a bit. 12 reps, 3 sets, usually, for exercises, like consecutively for each one. And then kind of like a 15-second to 30-second rest between, all of them. I haven't done that in a while because if you just do the same things over and over, it kind of gets stale or you feel like you're not really improving, I guess. So I like to vary it up when it comes to those exercises, and mainly it's good for the YouTube videos of different accounts that pop up and be like, okay, let's try this one today, or let's try this one today. So vary it up. It keeps the momentum, so to speak, and it's really fun just to see what different fitness accounts do for their own videos. And there's some similarities to some of them, but also differences in their workout. So it's pretty neat seeing all that. So I don't like to necessarily stick to one person. And then, of course, in the afternoons, I like to go for my walks, usually at a somewhat leisurely pace. It kind of helps me kind of relax and kind of take my mind off things and kind of recover from, the stresses of the day, but also all the physical activity that I had been doing. So that's something that's kind of an everyday thing for me, but important for cross-training days because it kind of helps me set myself up for my next run day. And now that we're literally, in the taper weeks of the marathon training, we're literally 2 weeks away at this moment when I'm recording this. Cross-training, it is going to be a bit more important to make sure that, we're pretty much in tip-top shape once we get to that start line the morning of. And so I'm going to be putting a little more emphasis on that a little more. I still have some run days here and there, but they're going to be at a more easy-ish pace. Easy-ish pace. So it's not going to be like, running, 5 miles at my race day pace, which is like, I don't know, maybe 11, 10 something. So definitely going to put that as a top priority these next 2 weeks. Also making sure that mentally I'm okay, just making sure that, things are calm as it is. Especially these last 2 weeks, I could definitely feel the anxiety and nervousness kind of kicking up. Let me know if that's happened to you. It's, because the anticipation is like right there in front of your face, knowing it's just around the corner. I mean, when we first started, at least when I first started training for the marathon, it's like, yeah, this month's away, I got time, yada, yada. You're feeling calm, feeling relaxed here and there. And then as time goes on, you're starting to think more and more as the day comes closer, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's here. And, we put ourselves through the ringer just to, get to the point that we have. We've ran that long run of that 20 miler or even further for some people. And just the thought of those last 6 miles that we're going to have to reach once we start, it almost feels like a daunting task, but I know we can do it. We can do it. I mean, if you ran a marathon before, we can do it. If this is your first marathon, you can do it. Trust me, you can do it. We all can do it. We're all going to cross that finish line, and it's going to be an amazing feeling. And you know what? We're all going to have a good time, right? Yeah, we're all going to have a good time. And that's pretty much the gist of my cross training for this training block. I wish I had done it, when I was training for my first marathon back in 2019, that I had actually implemented cross training a bit more. I was pretty much going as a pure novice into my first marathon and thinking, oh, I'll be fine, yada, 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 nothing's gonna happen. And of course, that's when I find out, I'm like, oh my gosh, so this is what my knee feels like after I've semi-injured it, or this is what my foot feels like after, finding out that I had the wrong shoes, yada, yada. So definitely, that's one thing I wish I had done during my first marathon, but glad that I started implementing it for my second marathon and races going forward. And now it's something that, I prioritize as well as with my running, and couldn't be any happier. I don't know. Let me know what you guys do for your cross training. Do you go to the gym, use the workouts there, work out at home, doing YouTube videos as well, or just, do things in the outdoors? So let me know. And if you're training for the LA Marathon, I hope you have a good taper weeks, actually, these last 2 weeks, and fully rest up, because I want to see all your faces at the start line. That's one thing I'm really excited about. Despite the anxiety that I get from social crowds in general, just seeing all the faces on race day is purely awesome, and you feed off that energy, which helps a lot. And seeing all the people along the street cheering you on really does help a lot in calming that feeling. For me, at least, that's how I feel. So if that's the same for you, let me know. I'd love to hear it. But yeah, we'll call it here. I've said all I can. I've told you my secrets. You should all keep it. You pinky swear. We're going to pinky swear right now that you're not going to tell anybody. Okay? But we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much again for joining me this week on Small Talk Tuesday. Let me know how you guys are doing, or any of the questions I asked here. I would love to hear how you guys are doing, especially. But yeah, we'll leave it there. Until next time, I'll see you all later. Ciao. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Small Talk Tuesday. Drop us a line at smalltalktuesday@gmail.com, or leave us a comment on YouTube. Don't forget to follow and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon, and all places where podcasts are listed. Until next time, we'll see you all later.